Summertime and the living's easy, riding your art bike and looking real fly. Oh, our daddy ain't rich, so we need your money. So try us, no buy us, little baby. We won't make you cry. What are art bikes? Why do we need a documentary about them? Art bikes are this amazing culture and subculture of art meets a bike. People that, no matter how much money or how little they're spending on it, they turn their bikes into moving works of art. Art bikes are all over the world. There's a huge community of them in Japan, in Amsterdam, and all over Europe. Art bikes are not just a global phenomenon either. We have a huge community right here in the Bay Area. One of the artists featured in the film is Slim Buick, who started out in the Mission, but now has a really big following in the East Bay, in Richmond and Oakland. He's very known for his art bikes.
Growing up in the Mission, there was a little bit of lowrider bikes, and that's kind of where I started. And I noticed as the years went by, all of a sudden lowriders got popular enough that they had their own. There was a lowrider car magazine, and after a while it got so popular they did lowrider bicycle magazine for about 10-year run, something like that. And that's kind of where I started, and then I had a lot of inspiration from hot rods and choppers and different things like that, and wanted to do those. And like I said, you have different moods, so you do different style bikes. And then, yeah, somewhere along the way, there's all these other cultures that came up, and it was just fun to get involved with them. I've been a DJ for many years, from collecting old records, and that's one of the reasons a lot of my bikes, some people that don't think, oh, did you build that, will ask me, well, what year is it? And from all the years of being inspired by antiques and whatnot, and music, they sort of take on those older styles. So I've used them a lot to take records to different events and shows and musical things and stuff like that.
I like the tooled leather on Rawhide. I don't know if you noticed, but it's covered with musicians and, you know, artistic images of various things going on, but music definitely factors big. It seems that music and bikes really go together in the culture right now, whether it's Fossil Full, the bike rapper, or the East Bay Bike Party. Either they stop and listen to music and dance, and it's no longer a solitary thing. It's really, you know, it's much more fun to get together as a group, obviously.
There we go. Do you have those acorn nuts plated? Actually, I think I bought those at Cliff's Variety. They're solid brass.
Oh, nice.
Which, I don't know how much more weight it adds to it, but who cares?
Yeah, I don't care. Nobody has ever accused me of building something white, that's for sure.
I actually did a window display at Cliff's Hardware, because after a while, a friend of mine that worked there goes, you gotta show your bikes in the window. Hell, you got half the parts from there.
These bikes have been all over California, and most people just love them. He actually caused a bit of a traffic jam in Sacramento last week, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, everybody would drive by and they would have their camera out and they're trying to take a picture. And then all of a sudden the people behind them that didn't know what was going on are honking. Then you hear like, oop, oop from the police car, and made them all move. And then the police car drives by and kind of gives me the look like, oh, it's you, and then he takes a picture.
That's awesome. What was the frame originally?
The frame's a 47 Schwinn, I believe.
Is that a Schwinn Springer style fork, or is that off something else?
That's off of the back piece is off a mountain bike, and the front piece is off a Monarch.
Monarch, that's right.
Yeah.
Especially in the lowrider culture, they build what you would call a trailer queen. And they're so low to the ground, if you actually really pedaled them, your pedal would probably scrape the pavement. And they spend a lot of money putting gold plating and $15,000 paint jobs. And I mean, the pedals turn, the wheels roll, but they probably really don't ride them. But for me, my personal, you have to be able to ride them. It's like, once you're done with it, you stare at it for a while, but you just have to get it out on the road and let other people see it. Well, the scraper bike started in Oakland, and Tyrone Stevenson, what is this?
AKA Baby Champ.
AKA Baby
Scraper
Champ,
King.
Scraper King. What they did was, there was a while there everybody was buying early 90s, late 80s model cars and putting really big wheels with fancy rims, and the car around it usually was kind of beat up, but it had like really fancy wheels. It was like the jewelry for the car. And he came up with the idea of, ooh, I want to put foil through my spokes. All of a sudden, all the kids in the neighborhood started doing foil. Then it evolved, and they started doing tape in different colors, painting the bike to match. They'd go around to the candy factories and get their favorite candy wrappers and do like an M&M bike or a Dorito scraper. So it's like, so it's a great little culture because a lot of it's just found discarded objects.
Yeah, people are like, hey, what kind of bike is that? And I have to ask them what part. There's a little bit of everything in it. Yeah.
So let's take a look at the budget. The total amount for the budget is $480,206. From the start, we decided to have 3 producers. 2 would be ingrained into the art bike community and have a true passion for the content. The third is a highly respected film producer that knows how to make a film, guiding the film through its stages from development to exhibition. This producer has had several films in the Sundance Film Festival, so his experience is invaluable to this film's success. The director is a young filmmaker with a strong vision and great skill level to make this documentary breathtaking. Most of the budget is set aside for travel expenses and food. Because of the cost of airfare, our crew is only going to consist of people required to make the film. Having a lean production staff will make the process much more efficient and cost-effective. Our key crew will include the director, producers, cameraman, sound engineer, grip and lighting, production manager, makeup, editor, and a production assistant. The film will be shot digitally on modern DSLRs, keeping our costs low in the camera department. The film will begin to be edited on the first day of shooting, as the video editor will travel with us. The editor will continue editing for a few more weeks after we return. The music in the film will be original music from independent artists from the communities that we visit. We will also have parts of the film scored as well. We are not attempting to receive any industry money. We are going to use grassroots tactics, utilizing online funding resources such as Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Because of the deep roots that art bikes have in their communities, we feel that the film will generate significant buzz to have successful campaigns. We will also be seeking out private equity more formally, approaching wealthy bicycle enthusiasts and sponsors to assist move the film along. We plan to use money received from our online campaigns to get the film moving, and will continue fundraising until the budget is met for post-production. With our passionate and professional production staff, and having the film set up with a lean budget, is set to minimize the risk of bad investment.
Featuring 5 separate segments on various places on the earth, we will travel around the globe featuring some of the best and brightest in the world of art bikes. Creating works of art out of simple bikes is not just a cultural phenomenon contained by only one group of people or another. This is an international form of expression that doesn't bend to the barriers of language. No matter where you come from, your bike does all the talking for you. There are 4 major epicenters for art bikes in the world. Japan, with the Dekochari. Europe has a rich cycling tradition, as well as a show, Pimp My Fahrrad, which means bike in German. Oakland has a large art bike scene, what they call scraper bikes. The Bay Area, with Slim, is one of the largest art bike scenes in the world. Also, Burning Man is a massive collection of art from all walks of life, bikes included. A soft starting date to begin filming overseas would be approximately July 1st. The gap of time before that would be used to finalize travel plans, acquire passports, set up dates for interviews, acquire funds, as well as set us up perfectly to visit summer events such as Burning Man. A month's time should be adequate to shoot everything we need. Split into 4 weeks, The first will be spent in Japan, collecting all the information and shots we can of the Dekuchari. We will focus on the bike group DC Club Ryumaki. We will feature one person and have a very in-depth interview to intercut with B-roll of art bikes and their use in Japanese society. The second week will be dedicated to Europe. This is where we will speak with the men and women of Pimp My Far Rod. Also, we can do a piece on the beer bike from Amsterdam. While this isn't exactly art for art's sake, it is a great example of creativity and bikes mashing together. London also has a rich art bike community, and every year thousands gather for the World Naked Bike Ride. This promotes cycling and a body-positive message for everyone involved. The third week of shooting will be just over the bridge in Oakland. Their scraper bike community has been working very hard for the past couple of years to gain a reputation for having a fun, safe alternative to the streets for kids and young adults. Here, we will be interviewing the Scraper King, as well as former gang members who have cleaned up their lives thanks to the scraper bike community.
Everybody know who the king is. Ain't no see this shiny hat. They know on the real. Baby champ on the real. And I started the scraper bike movement. Anybody want to debate it? Holla at me on MySpace. Scraper bike king. Scraper bikes is a hobby, and as long as you take your time out of your day to make that bike and you put the correct material on the spokes and you spray paint your bike, you know, a beautiful color, whatever color, or put something that means something to you, you know, in a decorative way on your bicycle. Now, makes you a scraper bike. You gotta have color. I don't even like to see stock paint. Like some of the kids, they don't paint their bikes, they just put the rims on it, you know, and put the design on it and then leave the frame like the same way. Nah, I be talking about them. I make them feel bad about the way they made their bikes so they can go home and refocus on their bikes and be like, man, Champ said my bike looks sloppy, now I gotta fix it. And then that bring out the more creativity in them. So that's how I like to motivate them in making their own bikes, you know. Cruising with the kids for like 50, 40 deep, it'd be like, wow, we mobbing. Like, it's just fun, because I love to see the people of the community. I love to see their faces and their expressions. It's just, you know, it's like, it's a good feeling. I love being from where I'm from. You know, look at the sun, you look at the day, you know, we like in the middle of October, you know, and the sun is just out beaming on us. Like, it's a beautiful place out here. Like, you know, like, I love Oakland. Man, living in Oakland, I'm seeing so much. I'm seeing homicides, I'm seeing dead bodies on the curb. I done seen people die in front of my own eyes in the hood. I'm only 20 years old. I'll be 21 in December. So, Oakland is no joke. You definitely learn how to stand your ground being young, early. You know, like, it's crazy. Scraper bikes is definitely a process, and that process is definitely for the kids so they can get their, you know, mind off of what's really going on in these streets and give them at least that hour or 2 hours to fix on their bikes, you know, that hour or 2 hours of a life change, you feel me, or a life saved, because scraper bikes is definitely saving a lot of these kids' lives.
The fourth will be spent half at Burning Man in northern Nevada and half in the San Francisco and Richmond area. Since we are already here and have a good amount of footage of Slim and the bikes locally, we can afford to have only the second half of a week to shoot the SF portion in order to catch the first half of Burning Man to get some crucial interviews and footage with the Winking Circle. The Winking Circle is a group of artists whose mission is to eccentrify the world. They are a collective of self-proclaimed misfits remaking bikes as movable art, which is on display every year at the Burning Man Festival.
The whole thing started out at a condemned house in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of people who refused to be bored in their tired little town. So they all went out, they collected paint cans, they found old broken bikes and assorted junk, and just unleashed their foolish dreams. There were no hard, fast rules, no right, no wrong, just raw self-expression. And they hit the streets, spreading the positive public mischief. Let's go! They turned off the TV set, and they starred in their own lives.
You know, if a movie camera followed us around for a year, where would this be something we would want to watch?
Trying to become something greater than just some kid out of Oxford, you know what I mean?
We are creators, not spectators.
I got a crazy study for a tall bike.
I made the craziest tall bike.
Oh, is that the one you had in your face?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm one person anymore, what can I do? It's like I'm one person, what can I start?
That's pretty much how it started. You decide how it continues.
Living in San Francisco, we are saturated with art all the time, and I think we take that for granted. Everywhere you turn, there is somebody else building a cool structure, painting a beautiful mural. Even the architecture here is gorgeous. But not everywhere is like this. We are trying to take little people doing big things and highlight them for the world to see. Including all 5 sections, this documentary will be running around 1 hour and 20 minutes total. This time frame will allow us to effectively portray the subjects we follow and the communities they represent.
So, why don't we talk a little bit about the marketability of this documentary? We believe people all over the world are going to want to watch this film. So, how do we narrow down who our target audience is? We need to pick a certain group of people to focus on. And they should have these 3 things in common: bicycles, art, and wanting to do good for the environment. Our documentary is unique because many audiences can relate to this film. But the group that we're going to focus on are ages 25 to 45, male and female. This group of people appreciate art, they grew up riding bikes, and are thinking about the environment. How will we attract this audience? Many of our connections are already made because of the worldwide underground art bike movements. We will use social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, etc., and a website to spread the word. We have a professional publicist on board who has experience with worldwide films. This person will be key to getting us distribution. This brings us to the use of festivals. Independent documentaries play real well with festivals. We have a team who is familiar with the main festivals: Toronto Film Festival, Sundance, Cannes. We are confident these main festivals we will want to premiere our film. The festival we are going to focus on is the Toronto International Film Festival. Because we believe this film has worldwide potential, as we will be filming across the world, the Toronto International Film Festival has many distributors from all over the world. We believe this film will be popular in the United States as well as internationally. The international markets that will have the most appeal is Japan and Europe, such as the countries of Germany, England, and Holland. In the United States, the San Francisco Bay Area, Los Angeles, and New York will be major markets. Our means of distribution will be a theatrical release, international digital download, including a live streaming such as Netflix, a DVD release, and a television deal.
So, we have a lot of bicycles, mixed with a little artistic expression. Throw in a dash of environmental awareness, and you have yourself a financially viable investment. Or just a badass documentary.